If you're the mother of a daughter, or 2, 3, or more, you already know how special and unique this relationship is in your life, for both of you. You also know that it's not always full of rainbows and sugar and spice and everything nice. The mother-daughter dynamic is at times just as complicated as it is awesome. So today, we'll focus on the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how you can ultimately create one of the most amazing bonds between both of you that's ultimately possible, no matter how old your daughter is right now. Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl Butler, and you're listening to the Mighty Mommy's Quick and Dirty Tips podcast, which will help make your life as a parent a little bit easier and a lot more fun. Welcome. Today's episode is number 567, 7 meaningful ways to build an unbreakable mother-daughter relationship, because you and your daughter deserve to have something really special that's lifelong and priceless. Regardless of how long you've been parenting your daughter, there are actions that you can take immediately to nurture and strengthen your relationship. Today we'll talk about 7 ways that you can strengthen your mother-daughter bond. 1. Honor your most important relationship, the one with yourself. 2. Encourage her emotional education. 3. Learn to speak her love language. 4. Hang out and have regular mother-daughter dates. 5. Practice the 20-second rule and other simple tools. 6. Affirm her and catch her doing good. And 7. Chill out and connect with a mother-daughter guided meditation. The mother-daughter connection is like none other. It's an intense, special bond that's instrumental in the lives of both. Sadly, it can also be complex, challenging, and even toxic. A dysfunctional mother-daughter relationship can adversely affect both parties for the rest of their lives. If you're struggling to reap a fulfilling bond with your daughter, here are some loving ways to connect and stay strong. 1. Remember to have a great relationship with yourself. When you're trying to improve your connection with other people, it's easy to focus on the negative behaviors and the habits of the person that you seek to change. Have you noticed that when you're in conflict with someone, you automatically analyze their shortcomings and annoying habits? There's no way you'd snap your gum as loudly as that know-it-all PTA mom, am I right? If you want to connect with people wholeheartedly, you need to accept yourself wholeheartedly first. And that's especially true if you want to build a better relationship with your daughter. Before you attempt to repair or strengthen your mother-daughter relationship, do some soul searching. Honestly assess how you feel about yourself. What are your goals and values? How's your self-esteem and self-care? Do you take the time to nurture your own mind, body, and soul? As busy moms, we can easily forget our own needs. That can lead to feelings of resentment and negativity. Psych Central's article, How to Build a Healthy Relationship with Yourself Every Day, offers some helpful tips to cultivate a loving sense of self. Personal life coach Stephanie Kang recommends tuning into our inner chatter as a way to stay true to ourselves. She says, starting to notice this is a great first step because it's often so unconscious. Once we become more aware of how we relate to ourselves, we can reflect on what effect it's having and how we want to change. Next, encourage and develop your daughter's emotional education. The first step towards strengthening your child's ability to manage strong relationship emotions is to teach her to identify and understand them. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to identify and manage one's own emotions, as well as those of others. It's extremely important when fostering your relationship with your daughter. In a previous episode, I interviewed author Malika Chopra, daughter of spiritual guru Deepak Chopra, about the immense stress today's young people endure in their daily lives. Her popular book, Just Feel: How to Be Stronger, Happier, Healthier, and More, is a full-color illustrated guide for kids between the ages of 8 to 12 and it gives them the tools to build resilience and overcome their daily pressures. Malika is passionate about teaching our kids that their emotions, whether they're happy or sad, are normal and that they shouldn't suppress them. A key takeaway from my interview was that kids need to know that their feelings are potent and affect both their mood and their choices. Her book provides mindful exercises that show kids how to identify their feelings, then express them, and how to make good choices. Putting these strategies into action will help them develop independence, grit, and inner strength. One way that I stay connected to my daughters is I use a tool I learned years ago called a spontaneous check-in. So basically, I find random occasions to stop what I'm doing and check in with them to see how their day's going, or to follow up with something that might not be resolved, like a question that I asked them in passing and they didn't get back to me on it yet. The key is to be totally engaged. Leave multitasking behind when you check in. My college daughter is always busy with studies and an internship. I text or I leave her voicemail messages to let her know I'm thinking about her and that I'm always available to talk whenever she's available, no matter what. She's a night owl like me, so I'm never surprised to get a call around midnight when she's up studying. My 14-year-old daughter, well, she's navigating the murky waters of teen drama at the moment, so I regularly stop her when she walks in the door, and I ask her specifically how she's feeling after, say, a stressful exam or another event that's happening at school. Likewise, when I notice she's in a great mood, I ask what's got her feeling so good so that we can celebrate together. These spontaneous check-ins keep us connected, and they make it much easier to address problem areas when they arise. Now, the next tip is learn to speak your daughter's love language so you can better understand what makes her tick. I may have lots of practical experience raising my brood of 8 kids, but I'm always interested in improving my parenting game, particularly when it comes to communicating with my kids more effectively. Years ago, I read a thought-provoking book about how to better understand my kids, The 5 Love Languages of Teenagers, by New York Times bestselling author Dr. Gary Chapman. The premise is simple. We're all different with different personalities. Therefore, we express love in different ways. Dr. Chapman calls these ways of expressing and receiving love the 5 love languages. They're words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Each individual has at least one language that they prefer above the others. So when we understand what resonates with them, we can focus on that preference to communicate and bond in a deep, trusting way. My kids are each motivated by different approaches. For example, 2 of my kids thrive with hugs and touch, while another of my 2 prefer verbal affirmations and nothing touchy-feely. Once I had a better understanding of their love language, I was able to understand and connect with them in a much more meaningful way. I highly encourage you to visit Dr. Chapman's website, 5lovelanguages.com, and take one of his love quizzes. You'll be amazed at how insightful this information is and what a helpful tool it is in bonding with your daughter and all your children. Make the time to hang out and have regular mother-daughter dates. Nothing shows your child how much you love and value her than the gift of spending time together. Hanging out with your daughter on a regular basis signals that you enjoy her company and you want to be with her. Finding time to take a walk each week, say, that offers priceless time to chit-chat about anything and everything that's important to each of you. Your daughter gets to engage about friendships, hobbies, fashion, music, teen culture, boys, and so much more. You get to take your mom hat off and get to know all about her dreams, what worries her, and her everyday concerns. In the process, she learns about you and your aspirations. You may even discover you've actually got a lot in common. So if a walk isn't your thing, sit with your daughter and make a list of some other activities that you can enjoy together. You might even uncover some interests you didn't know she had in the process. And if your daughter is still a baby or a toddler right now, get in the practice of these one-on-one outings now so they become a part of your regular routine as she grows into a young adult. Whatever you decide, keep it going on a consistent basis and make the time just about the two of you, with no distractions such as cell phones, TV shows, or other siblings in tow. Developing a personal, intimate relationship where you both respect one another and you respect your boundaries, that takes time. But when you make these mother-daughter dates a part of your regular schedule, it will be so well worth it. Practice the 20-second rule and other proven tips recommended by Dr. Ronnie Sandler. As I mentioned earlier in this episode, I'm always on the lookout for great parenting books. Ronnie Sandler, PhD, author of I'm Not Mad, I Just Hate You, A New Understanding of Mother-Daughter Conflict, she delivered. This book offers practical communication strategies, including sample do and don't dialogues. I found the following 4 tactics extremely helpful. Practice the 20-second rule. When you need to address a confrontational issue with your daughter, don't go into lecture mode. Instead, share your thoughts and point of view in 20 seconds or less. By doing so, you stay on task with your point and you don't risk having your daughter simply tune you out. Once you've calmly made your point in 20 seconds, tell her you'll revisit the subject when you've both had time to think about it. Next, take your emotional temperature. Before you have an intense discussion with your daughter, gauge your emotions to be sure your feelings are under control. You'll want to think clearly and keep your composure, and be sure to keep your cool. This will keep your stress levels down, and you're going to be a great role model for your daughter. Also, choose your battles carefully. Don't focus on every trivial issue or annoyance that comes down the pike. If you do, you won't have any emotional energy left for the bigger issues that inevitably come along. And last, impart your message in a receptive manner. Don't be sarcastic or critical or hostile when delivering an important message. Choose your words and your tone of voice very carefully. For example, if your daughter is whining or being sarcastic when you ask her to take care of her evening chores, you could say to her, I'd really like us to get along better, so could you please use a nicer tone of voice? She'll be more likely to hear you and receive the message than she would if you screeched, You don't get to talk to me that way. I'll bet Taylor doesn't talk to her mom like that. Affirm her and catch her doing good. Get into the habit of celebrating your daughter's successes. When our kids are praised for something they've done well, and we take the time to let them know we've noticed, this builds self-esteem and encourages a growth mindset. You don't have to hoot and holler every time your daughter puts her clean laundry away or remembers to feed the dog. Just genuinely and regularly take notice of her efforts. Make eye contact and say, Hey, I've noticed you're putting in extra time with your homework assignments. Way to go. You're fostering that growth mindset. The consistent positive reinforcement will inspire her to continue wanting to do better. And my last tip, try a guided meditation together. One of my daughters has struggled with anxiety issues since she was in middle school. She's now able to manage her condition with several holistic tools that she's learned through the years, and one of those is guided meditation techniques. Meditation is a terrific tool to help quiet your mind and nerves when life gets crazy and chaotic. It's an effective way to get yourself grounded and back on track. It's also a really great way to connect with another human being. If you're looking for a relaxing way to spend time together, there are wonderful and calming guided meditations specifically geared towards mothers and daughters. My daughter and I enjoy listening to a specific one, which I'm going to link to my page in just a moment, and it relaxes us and it just makes us feel closer to one another organically. Just head on over to the Mighty Mommy page at www.quickanddirtytips.com/mighty-mommy. And again, this is episode number 567. And check out the link for the mother-daughter meditation that I have. It's so soothing and relaxing. I really encourage you to check it out. How do you connect with your daughter? Join the conversation and share your thoughts in the comments section at quickanddirtytips.com/mighty-mommy. You can also visit me on the Mighty Mommy Facebook page or Twitter. And you can email me at mommy@quickanddirtytips.com. I hope you'll listen and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Next week, we'll talk about how we can be great parents without such unrealistic expectations. Parenting does not have to be perfect to be fun. Why not take a step back from trying to juggle it all and just live in the moment and simply enjoy raising your kids? I'll offer some practical and fun tips that will help you get a better sense of appreciating the simple, everyday moments of parenting. It can be so much more amazing with the right mindset, so I hope you'll subscribe to the Mighty Mommy podcast through your favorite platform so you'll get notified when this episode is available. As the mom of 3 girls, I totally get the complex yet truly special facets of the mother-daughter relationship. So I hope you'll be able to tap into some of today's tips and really enjoy your time with her. As always, thanks so much for listening, and until next time, happy parenting.